Pleased to meet you. This is Fixed and Folded, the knife review channel for the casual knife collector. I'm Cody. Tommy is right here beside me, licking his paw, and I'm going to be doing my 5 most carried pocket knives of winter 2025. So we'll start from smallest to biggest. The Bestech warwolf is going to be the first knife I'll be telling you about. This is currently $63 Canadian on Blades Canada. For that you get a two-tone D2 blade with a machine satin finish on the blade and the unsharpened swedge, and a tumble finish on the flat. And you get a contoured G10 handle with a smooth, easy to access liner lock system. You have satin finished hardware for what I consider to be a stylish, attractive, unique looking blade design, knife design. You have T8 pivot screws and T6 body screws and pocket clip. You only have right hand pocket clip tip up, so if you're left-handy, then you're going to have to put this the wrong way in your pocket. The action is awesome. This runs on bearings, and it came like this pretty much out of the box. Great, smooth action. The detent is medium. Centering almost perfect. It's almost perfectly centered. And even though there's tight tolerances on either side to clear the blade does not touch against the frame, and so I'm happy with this. Pocket clip is between deep carry and tactical carry, which I find annoying because it's not enough. This, if it was tactical, then you'd have enough material to grab, and of course full deep carry is nice. This is in between, so a little bit annoying. In terms of placement of it for functionality. The bill from the box is quite aggressively angled, and I just took some plastic wrap and some pliers and just bent it down so that it still can snag on fabric if I decided to ever use it, but it provides no hot spot for my hands now when I hold it. Placed just along the center of the handle, so the location is well placed for hand comfort. And not much more to say about this guy. It's the size of a Spyderco Para 3 Benchmade Griptilian, so a little bit bigger than a bug out, and then smaller than your Benchmade Freaks and Paramilitary 2s. The weight is nice and manageable. I'll do some measurements there. You have a total blade length of 3.5 inches with a sharpened area of 3.5 inches. You can see where the blade meets the handle. You go down, that's where the sharpened edge starts. So that's nice. You have a nice hand finger guard here to prevent your hand from slipping forward during piercing. The blade shape is reminiscent, just in terms of angle, of like a PM2, and that it's quite acute. You have a needle tip, tapers down to a needle point, and so you can do some fine work with the tip there. And it's a medium to thick blade stock for a knife of this size, and you get, I would call that a saber grind, going to flat, because this is kind of midway along the blade, with a cool designed harpoon blade, which gives you a finger reference for doing draw cuts. And I love the look of this shape. So D2 steel, I like D2 for a pocket knife. It's a semi-stainless, it's not a stainless. It's like 4.5 or 4 out of 10 stainlessness. Wipe it off if it gets wet. And yeah, handle comfort, now that I've customized the bill, excellent. I can get all my fingers across the handle. I wear extra large gloves, and I have fat sausage fingers. So this, all these factors, along with that $63 Canadian price point, makes this a compelling purchase if you are me and like the features that this has. The weight, with the milled out, it's got some skeletonized steel liners on both sides. The weight is 4.7 ounces. It's heavier than I thought it would be. This still fits under the medium weight category for EDC knives based on my subjective values. And satisfying, pleasant winner of a design. Bestech Warwolf. Next knife is the Spartan Aster. I fell in love with this knife once I put it in my hand, because this Les George design provides a very multi-use, practical EDC blade shape with a very comfortable and secure feeling handle that, when combined, just is a real winner in my opinion. So you have a tall and medium width handle. You have I'd say medium to thick blade stock for a knife of this size. This is a full size knife, so you're a size up from the Warwolf. So now you're looking at Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and Benchmade Freak length. And you have a usable choke up spot here. This will have a nice flat and smoothed finger stop that you can use to choke up, and use this thumb on these large jimpings here that have been rounded for comfort but are still deep enough to provide meaningful traction. You can choke up, and you have this little cutout here for a finger reference for draw cutting. You have a high flat grind with a tumble finish. I love tumble finishes. This is CTS XHP steel, which has good edge retention, decent toughness, and borderline stainlessness. I believe this is 6.5 out of 10 stainlessness. This is just the entry level of getting into a stainless steel, but it's better than D2, and I love D2. So just make sure if you get ocean water, salty water on this, that you wipe it off as soon as you can. And if you got rainwater on this, just wipe it off at your convenience. But winner of a design, I picked the carbon fiber handle because I like the color more than the pea soup green G10 handle. The green handled version is $200 Canadian on Blades Canada. I paid $215 Canadian for this version, and I love this. You have a bit of a texture on the handle, and it's shiny. I think it's a coating. I think it's an added on clear coat where it almost feels like a spackle. It's a fine, there's fine, medium, and coarse texture. It's a fine texture, but it's not smooth. And yet it's going to be smooth enough to cooperate with the pocket clip for egress and what do you call that? I don't know, getting fancy words for getting in and out of the pocket. So yeah, I do love the texture on this. It's been really well designed and well thought out. The pocket clip carry is almost deep carry. You just have a little nub poking out, and that probably won't scare anybody in the mall. This knife is designed to be a tool knife. It's not designed to be fidgety. Thumb stud deployment only. Oil infused phosphor bronze washers, which it's just smooth. It's as smooth as a nice smooth phosphor bronze washers is what it feels like. You have like a hydraulic feeling tension on the blade. I haven't messed with it from the box. Came like this, perfectly centered. And I like this deliberate tension, so it's not going to be drop shutty, and it's nice and controllable. It feels maybe a little bit more safe than if it was just guillotine drop shut. You have liner on one side with the liner lock on that side, and a just big unmilled slab of G10 for the other side. Or not G10. This might be carbon fiber inlay over G10, but Spartan just says carbon fiber for the handle. So we'll just keep going that it's carbon fiber. It's very, very rigid as carbon fiber is. So I'll just call this carbon fiber. So you have big slab of carbon fiber on this side, and then half of a width of the carbon fiber on the other side with a steel liner. This is a T10 divot screw and T6 body screws, and you've got adjustable. You have a little plate here to remove and make it left-hand carry if you want. You switch it over to the right side there. Pocket clip comfort right out of the box. Excellent, can't feel it. Tension is medium to thick, to medium to strong, and effective. You do have non-inset screw heads. They don't catch under the fabric, but they will stop your deployment or putting it in the pocket. So you have to just push it past them to get on there. So you can do on purpose a tactical carry if you just let it stop at the first screw head, in which case there's enough material to pull out with your fingers, or you can just push it down more and you get the almost deep carry clip position there. So for $215 Canadian, CTS XHP with a tumble finish and a cleverly textured carbon fiber handle with a well implemented liner lock. It's been chamfered on one side to increase the amount of space to access with your thumb, and it's comfortable. Liner lock is very good, 50% lockup, so the liner goes 50% over to the blade. Great knife, $215. This would be the one knife if I were to just choose one knife to carry for winter of 2025. It would be this knife, Spartan Aster. Next knife, oh, why don't we weigh this? So the Spartan Aster is going to be 5 ounces even, which is the beginner of heavy weight knife in my opinion. But this is a nice, satisfying, solid feeling knife for up to heavy duty for a work knife, all around good to do everything well knife. So I'm happy with that weight. Blade length is 3.5 inches and 3.48 inches of cutting edge, and nice and sharp out of the box. All my knives that I'm going to be talking about were nice and sharp out of the box. Next knife is the Kizer Begleiter XL 2025 edition. The only difference between this one and the 2024s and previous is the positioning of the lettering is different now, and there's been a tiny little subtle adjustment. There's now a finish on the handle. It's like a nice coil spring sanding pattern on both sides of the handle that to me provides enough flair to make the knife not plain and boring for me, give it enough personality to inspire me to go buy one again. And I'm very happy I did, because the knife is very well designed for its deployment methods. You have button lock with flipper tab and thumb studs, and all three methods of deployment work very well. Pocket clip position is a little bit below center, and from the factory, the bill and the spine, perfectly comfortable. I don't feel it in my hand. You have, again, an almost deep carry position. You just have a hint of knife poking out of the top, and that's not going to scare anybody at the mall. All these knives pass my pocket test. I have 5.5-inch front pockets with my 511 strike pants. I just throw my knives in there, and I don't use pocket clips. I make sure that the handle is between 4.5 and 5.5 inches long so that I don't have to fish around too far to get to it. So that also decides the size of knife that I carry. Although my 511 strike pant pockets have cargo pouches that go up to about 7.5 inches. They're spec to fit M4 NATO mag pouch, 30 round mag pouches on the sides, and I could then shop for larger handles. You know, get some 6-inch plus handles and get some big monster knives. So considering getting one of those just for fun. So begleiter has micarta handles, 154 cm black wash blade, fit and finish, perfectly centered out of the box, and bearings very smooth. There's a bit of button stick, but it's satisfying. It's crispy. You can hear the break of it, and the lockup is very good. The lock goes probably 40% over the blade, providing a secure retention, and it's a nice sounding, even it's to break. There you go. I enjoy it. You have shadow boxed, really mild shadow boxing of the liners over top of the chamfered micarta handle scales that I find completely comfortable, and I enjoy it. You have skeletonized liners on both sides, steel liners. The rigidity is quite good. If I put a lot of pressure, I can create a bit of flex, but under one-handed use, it will not flex at all. And it's a nice, up to medium duty, tactical shaped EDC knife that has a very high flat grind with a little false wedge just at the end there, and really resonates with me. That is why it is one of my most carried knives of 2025 winter. Weight on the knife, we're looking at 5.1 ounces, which for a knife that is probably around 9 inches long, you have a length of just under 9 inches. That's a very respectable weight. You have a medium blade stock thickness for a knife of this size. It's not thick. It's designed to be a good slicer. Handle length of just under 5 inches and a blade length, total blade length of just under 4 inches with a cutting edge of 3.75 inches, maybe 3.8 inches. You have a usable choke up point with the design of the flipper tab. You have some mild jimping that goes first 30%, 35% of the blade. So you do have a neutral, blocky in a good way handle shape that provides comfort in every normal conceivable handle position that you might be using it for. You have a T8 pivot screw, and you have T8 body screws and T6 screws for the pocket clip, which is reversible. Price on this one is around 146 Canadian, maybe 150 Canadian, and that's reasonable for micarta and 154 cm with the black wash, with the fit and finish being well implemented. It's a decent value. Next knife up the list is one of my new knives. This is Extrema Ratio's MF1 Evo Spear Point. And the Spear Point model comes only with serrations, partial serrations near the base. And that's my only complaint about it. For me, I wish they had a straight, just a non-serrated version with this blade shape. But the serrations look cool for cool points, and for doing heavy duty work, which this knife is definitely designed to be capable of. This is going to be fine for thick cardboard and certainly for cutting fabric and rope. This is going to be great. And you can sharpen these type of serrations, these steak knife style serrations, if you get a tapered diamond ceramic rod, which you can find on Amazon for $20 Canadian. If you feel like you're going to use this enough to actually dull this M390 blade with this good finish, This is either a DLC coating or a Cerakote coating. It probably looks like DLC. It's going to be very durable. And beautiful Italian design made in Italy from Extrema Ratio. The price on this one is quite reasonable for an Extrema Ratio. $335, $340 Canadian is what the MSRP is on this. You get a beautiful, durable coat of aluminum that is being milled all the way through, as you can see in some places, for professional traction. These have not been smoothed, so this is a 90-degree angle on these to provide secure traction. And that is an issue with the pocket clip usability because there's not a smooth section milled under or left under the pocket clip, so that really will chew up your pocket when you're pulling this in and out. Other than that, the design is very well because you have this nice wraparound pocket clip with a medium tension. Now that I've loosened it up by cranking it open with my fingers carefully. You have a glass breaker, which is probably removable by removing this handle scale. This is probably just sitting on a tab that you can probably slide out if you hate glass breakers. This is pretty small and it's been unobtrusive for me for my carry, so I'm going to leave it. You have some well-designed jimping, large jimps on the thumb stop and finger stop portion here, going both on this side of the handle and matching into the liner where this is smooth, where the cutout area is to access the liner, and you have some large jimping on the back to aid probably primarily in reverse grip. And you have a cool locking tab. No, this is a tab. It's a switch. You have a locking switch, easy to operate, and that will move a piece, preventing the liner lock from traveling towards the handle to prevent this from releasing accidentally. And then you just undo it to get it to close. Thumb stud only on this model. And you have a thick feeling, sturdy liner lock that provides a lot of confidence. This feels like a heavy duty, professional grade, military police grade tactical knife. This is a tactical knife. It's designed to be a tactical knife from a company that provides these knives to military and law enforcement currently in Italy and Germany. So you have the blade shape is interesting. It's like it's a wide spear point blade, and you can see the center line here. So that carries on the blade stock thickness, which is on the thick side, down to the last third where it tapers to a stout point, not a needle point. The impression is that of the shape and the intention is that this is going to be a durable workhorse heavy-duty knife. A bit thick behind the edge by design to be durable. The cutting edge is nice and sharp from the factory. I watched a tour of how these knives are made in Italy, and it's a three-step tour for 3 stages of sharpening by hand by using grind wheels that they use, and the end result is very sharp, but it's thick behind the edge. So this isn't going to be a slicing master, but this will get the job done for any sort of tactical purposes. You have a massive, probably T15 or T20 pivot screw that I haven't tested out, and you have T6s on the, is this reversible? Yeah, it's got to be reversible. T6s on the reversible pocket clip, and then, boy, is this T10s? This looks like T10 body screws. So they're not fooling around at Extrema Ratio. These guys are serious, making tools for professionals. You got an M390 blade on here, and this looks like a DLC coating or a Cerakote coating on the blade, and they have a durable, probably Cerakote finish on the handle. This is a chunky boy. The weight is going to be heavy sauce. So let's see, the weight is going to be 6.6 ounces. Okay, not terrible. That is in the heavy side, but that suits the design of the knife being a heavy-duty tactical large knife. This is going to be a length overall of 9 inches exactly, including the length all the way down to the glass breaker. You have a blade length where it goes into the handle of 3.75 inches with a cutting edge of 3.5 inches. You have a cleverly designed choke up area here. This is unsharpened, and there's a little thumb indentee that you can go forward with for a very comfortable hand forward position for doing fine detail work, for doing feather sticking. And the handle is a comfortable blocky neutral shape, and all hand positions are comfortable on it. So yeah, for about $335, $340 Canadian, this is a good value for the design, the toughness, the blade material. M390 quality is great. This was perfectly centered out of the box. You have this deliberate tension. I have no idea what these washers are. It's like they look gray. I don't know if it's nylon or some weird Italian alchemy, but it's not. I know that it's not bearings, so it's anything but bearings. But it is effective and works well. Great knife. Extrema ratio MF1 Evo SP, which stands for Spear Point. Blades Canada. My final used knife, pocket knife, carried pocket knife, 2025. I bought all these knives in 2025, winter 2025. SOG Seal XR, the S35VN version. You can get a MagnaCut, well, you can't get a MagnaCut version right now because they're all sold out everywhere, but they offer a MagnaCut version with titanium handle scales for a lot of money, and that's like 400 Canadian something. This is 300 Canadian, also a lot of money, but this is an amazing, amazing knife if you modify it like I did. You have a DLC coated blade, stands for diamond light coating, and you have a durable and traditional plastic gravery handle, which sounds cheap and lame until you hold it and realize that it is awesome. It's very wide. It's going to be super duper durable. You have a axis lock style mechanism. You have a ginormous aggressive flipper tab. And I've modified the crap out of this because this is a pocket murderer when you first buy this from the store. The jimping is extreme on the back and on the front and on the flipper tab. Like, whatever. They designed it for gloves, but they did not design it for pocket carry, and SOG did not design this for bare hands. So I took my Dremel and I dremeled the blade, all the jimping, all the aggressive jimping. I didn't Dremel it off. I Dremeled it down to make it rounded and smoothed. Same with the jimping inside the handle and on the flipper tab. And now it is pocket friendly. It has not chewed up my pocket. It has not chewed up my hand. There are no longer hot spots. But it does keep the profile of the nasty chainsaw look, and it's still a incredible beast of a knife, but it is more practical now. Still not entirely the most comfortable knife in the world, because when I do deploy flipper tab, my finger oftentimes will still drag along here a little bit, but it's not going to abrade. It's just there to catch. So if you modify with a Dremel, or that's how I did it, some other method, carefully, you're jimping down on your SOG Seal XR, this can be many people's favorite large EDC knives. $300. I got this at House of Knives. It's also $300 Canadian on Blades Canada. They do have them in stock at both of those companies. Uh, the blade shape, the dimensions are not going to make it a efficient slicer. This is a entry-level tank build of a knife. This is your tank, overbuilt, durable tank knife. This geometry is designed for doing feather sticking, splitting wood, and punching through car hoods. So this is a fun exaggeration of a knife. This is knife porn right here. And I love it. And of course, it's going to do EDC work up to heavy duty. This will cut. It does come with a sharp cutting edge even out of the box. It's extra shiny because I did strop it, but this did slice paper out of the box. And it tapers down to the last quarter. The taper begins to a stout point, not a needle point, but this will perform. And this, you get a ton of traction behind the handle because it's so large. And you do have a trigger pull style choke up point on here, and you can use the jimping to have and this finger stop to have a secure, safe choke up position on the handle to do fine detail work. So this is a survival combat style overbuilt knife that you can do EDC with if you're like me and crazy. So the weight on this one is famously 7.2 ounces, which is heavy. Let me confirm that to make sure that I'm correct. And you have, I was wrong. It's 8.2 ounces. So yeah, that's chonky. It's a chonky knife, but it actually feels suitable for how thick this thing is. It feels great. I mean, the whole knife is just a overbuilt tank knife. So you get an overbuilt tank knife, you want it to be light? No, you don't. You want it to be heavy and goofy. And that's what this is. Yeah, I mean, this is as close to a fixed blade combat knife as you're going to find in a folding knife, right? There are other knives that approach this. The Viper Start is another knife that looks like a fixed blade combat knife, but it's a lot thinner. It's a lot more slicey, thinner blade, thinner handle. This is extremely cool, overbuilt, and less efficient than any of those, but more cool. For $300, you get S35VN and a whole lot of cool, but you gotta customize it, or you are going to tear your pocket apart, and you will find that your hand gets hot spots all over it. So if you're not going to mess with the jimping, then don't put it in your pocket. Put it somewhere else and wear gloves with it, and then you will still love it. So SOG Seal XR, House of Knives, Blades Canada, in stock, $300. If you are like me, then you'll buy two of them. But this is the one that I carry the most. So I'll do dimensions because this is fun on this one. You have 9, just right at 9 inches overall length, including the impact piece on the pommel. You have a blade length of really 3.75 inches where the blade meets the handle, and a cutting edge of 3.65 inches. I thought it would be longer. She didn't say that. And a handle length of 5 inches, not including the pommel striker, with a usable hand area here of 4 inches, where you have these nice little preset for your fingers, finger cutouts. Hand positions are comfortable in reverse grip, in saber grip, in hammer grip, and in choke up grip. So well designed except for the jimping. So yeah, love it. Just do a quick recap here. This isn't in any order of carry. I carry these equally, actually. And I love them all. They're my little winter of 2025 children. Tommy, you're my fur baby. He's my real child. So we've got Bestech Warwolf, Spartan Aster, Kizer Begleiter XL, Extrema ratio MF1, Evo, SP stands for spear point, SOG, Seal, XR. Cool. So now you're seeing that I'm evolving into a type of knives. I've always had a similar type like this, and it's sort of streamlining to a knife around this sizes and similar blade shapes and similar kind of, tactical, whatever kind of a style is what I've been finding myself towards. But I will probably have an evolved collection by spring of 2025, most carried knives, as I have ordered some compelling designs that I might resonate with more than some of these. So I will make a video in Q2 of 2025, most likely, and we'll see if I just go with the 5 carried knives or expand it out. But thank you for going on this journey with me. I hope that I was educational and informative, and that if you like any of these designs, that you go to the retailers that carry them and buy some, and hopefully you like them just as much as I did. So have a great day. I will talk to you soon. I have some knives arriving probably tomorrow. Over and out. Take care.